Hello, I want to talk to you in this particular video about the common traps of a narcissist, especially of a narcissistic mother, parent, but they all fall in around with narcissism. Um, and there's, in this one in particular, I'm focusing more on like narcissistic parent, narcissistic mother, and even with siblings, family oriented. Um, One of the big traps, especially like the narcissistic mother, is always acting like she's so concerned about you, worried about you. And I've fallen into this trap many, many, many times with my mom. Narcissistic mother, that is. And every time she's shown act of concern, I really thought, well, maybe my mom does care. Maybe my mom does love me. But then somewhere down the line, one of my daughters would tell me that she has overheard gossip by phone and even going to one of my narcissistic sister's house and has witnessed what's been said. So I'm being gossip about, finding out all this information. So my narcissistic mother, and I'm sure some of you can maybe relate to this, that they use this act of concern or worry. I haven't seen you in a while, been wondering when you're gonna come see me, and haven't seen you in a while. I miss you. And I fell for that for so many times. And you know what? You can't beat yourself up about it. And I don't. I used to, but not anymore. I don't. But just reflecting back, it's like, wow, what a lie and crock of bullshit she was, and still is. And it was just her ploy to keep my narcissistic sisters informed of what I'm doing in my life. And you know what that tells me? That tells me they're not happy with their lives. Because if they were happy with their own lives, why would they even care about what goes on in my life? Really. And they're always curious because they know I could become a threat to them in means of outshining them, and I will. It just takes time. It's really it's just hilarious. Like they just like sit around this gossip. But yeah, that's one of the traps that my narcissistic mother always pulled, is that act of concern, which really was nothing but a ploy, but to just keep her filled with information so she'd sit there and gossip around my narcissistic sisters and keep them updated. That's all what that was, and I'm sure that many of you can't relate to what I'm talking about. And then another common trap, and I'm sure each and every one of you or some of you can really relate to this, and that's using religion, using God, as a way to manipulate you and to just keep you entangled in their web. It's like, and I've had this said to me many a times, and I'm sure you have too. It's more like, my parents have told me, well, honor thy mother and thy father. It's part of the 10 Commandments. You're supposed to forgive, really? In a narcissistic family, I'm supposed to forgive? I'm supposed to just forgive and give you a free pass and just abuse me? To treat me like shit? To treat me like a piece of shit? Because you, I'll always be a piece of shit? Really? Really? And First of all, and this is just my perspective, and you can take this however way you want to, but to me, honor thy mother and thy father, which is a real biggie that they love to use, that narcissists love to use. And how I see that and how I combat that is, well, you know what? Yes, you're my mother and you're my father. But first of all, love's not in your heart. You don't know how to love but your own selves. You're evil towards me, and you know what? I don't have to honor evilness. Because that's what narcissism is. It's evil. So parents or a parent that is a narcissist, and they use that religious angle of honor thy mother or thy father, bullshit. Plain bullshit. Don't fall for that. You honor thy mother and thy father. If they're non-narcissistic, that applies to a non-narcissistic parent. And that's the ones that have love, have empathy, and compassion, and those that support you and build you up, those parents, yes, those are the ones you're supposed to honor. Yes, those parents. But in a narcissistic world, as far as parents are concerned, that does not exist. It doesn't. The honoring does not exist. Because they don't, narcissists, remember, narcissists only love themselves. They don't love others. They don't know how to love others. They have no empathy, no conscience, no nothing. They're heartless, they're spineless, and above all else, evil. Truthfully, the Bible says you are to turn away from evil. And narcissism is a big time evil. Don't matter where it stems from, parents, co-workers, bosses, wherever it stems from, you don't have to honor that. So don't fall for that. The other one, and I'm starting to learn what forgiveness is, but really, as far as like my narcissistic mother and sisters are concerned, I forgave them over and over and over and over again. And they just continue to abuse me. And I'm like, you know what? I don't deserve that. But what I'm learning what forgiveness is to kind of like, you forgive them, but then too, it's like you don't forget. It's like you forgive them because they're ignorant, because they're evil, because they're, especially when you have a narcissistic parent, like a mother, that uses the triangulation to separate your siblings from you and instill and programmed stuff in their head to separate themselves from you. Yeah, you forgive because you feel for them, but you don't have to be in their lives. You say you feel sorry for them, they're under your narcissistic parent's spell. No matter what you say or do, it's not going to get them out of it. It's not going to let them see. It's not going to make them see the light. So the part of forgiveness is like, okay, you know it, you recognize it. They're under the narcissistic parent spell. You cut your losses. You cut them out of your life. And you just forgive them. but you don't forget what they said and done to you. That's part of forgiveness. The other part of forgiveness is the ability to let all that bullshit go. Because, yes, it hurts, but at the same time, you can't go through your whole entire life dwelling and dwelling and dwelling and dwelling on it. Because you're just giving those narcissistic parasites supply. And they're drawing off of that. Every second you think about them and wish that they change and wish that this and wish that, and you can sit there and pray and read a Bible you can read a particular scripture and pray to God several times. Because I've done that. And I'm not saying I don't have faith in God, but I believe God does speak through situations. And it's just something I believe you just have to let it go. Cast your cares upon God. Cast it on Him. Say, God, I've done everything I could do. I forgave them. Prayed about them. Now, this is all I can do. This is all you've given me the power to do. I can't do anymore. The word says that you're not going to ever give me any more than what I can bear. So this is all I can bear. I can't bear no more. Time for you to take over the wheel. I cast my cares upon you. Now, I'm not making this a sermon, but that's what I believe. So, forgiveness is also to forgiving yourself. And how you forgive yourself is the process of just letting it go. Letting it all go. And you start refocusing and reprogramming yourself through therapy, through journal, prayer, or religion, whatever you want to call it. And just a lot of self-work on yourself, empowering yourself, like I've said in many videos. When you're reading everything you can, watching all these videos about narcissism, even getting into a support group, even online support groups. And recently I had found and it's a closed group on Facebook. It's narcissistic daughters. Daughters of narcissistic mothers, and that's a great group. You can get involved in things like that, because you can be really around some people that are going through the same thing, and it just feels so good to know, and you feel so validated. Just knowing that you got a lot of people that know where you're coming from. That's where your validation is. And believe me, I validate you. Don't know who you are, but I know you're in the same boat that I am, as well as many others. But yeah, don't let them use the religion angle. Because first of all, they act like they know God. They act like they know that they're, they believe they're going to go to heaven and all this. But like I said, I'm not trying to make it a sermon, but I'm just trying to make some points. And, that's the angle that they like to use, because they want to have that guilt trip and keep you entangled in their web. Don't fall for it. They're, like I said, narcissists are of many masks, and that's the mask they'll wear. And we all know that around other people, of course, they put on a different type of mask. Like, oh, they're so sweet, they're so kind, they're so compassionate, they're so caring, they're the great parent, the perfect. That's a mask. We all know that. But then when those certain people around are gone and not around, then they take off that mask and they show their true selves. Over and over and over again. And of course, you know, one thing is that you can always, and they love to do smear campaigns, lie about you, say all kinds of stupid stuff. And you know what? If your friends are going to believe that from your own narcissistic parents or parent or siblings, just look at it this way. If they are going to sit there and believe them, those narcissistic people in your life, and they choose to turn against you, just know one thing. They don't deserve you. And I have to maybe say also too, you can always get a new set of friends. Friends come and go, friends are a dime a dozen. That's what I believe. If they can't stick to you through thick and thin and be a true friend and not fall for the bull crap, if they're that too blind to sin, they weren't your friends in the first place. So you have to, they're not worth the toilet you sit on. They're not worth it. Let them go. And if you decide to go no contact and start over, because we all are capable of starting over. And you can. It's doable. But you have to do the work. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be an easy road. So I don't mean to come across as, oh, this is so easy to do. I believe maybe in some things that are easy for me to do, it's because I have strength. I've become a stronger person. And everyone, I don't expect for everybody to be where I'm at. Everybody here I know is at different levels. And there's no time frame. It just, every person's different. And I'm not going to sit here and look down on each and every one of you and say, well, you should be where I'm at. No. Everybody's different. Everybody's mind and heart, everybody's wired differently. So, but for myself, I can see that each and every time I've become stronger each and every passing day, and each and every one of you are capable of doing that. But I just urge you to be patient with yourself. You've been through so much and been through a lot of abuse. Some recover quicker or a little more quicker than others. But don't compare yourself to others. Don't compare yourself to the other people that are, in the same boat that you are. Because everybody's wired differently. And even though I've made pretty good progress of my recovery, I'm not saying I'm completely out of the woods, or I'm not saying that, I'm healed. But I feel and believe with each and every day coming, day that I'm getting closer and closer to my closure. I'm getting there. But I still know and believe there's still work to do. And I'm not cured yet. I know even if I was completely out of the woods and got to the point to where, okay, I found closure and I opened a new chapter in my life, there's still going to be some bits and pieces that linger. And my therapist has told me that you're going to have that. The point is, the thing is how you deal with it, and how you treat that, how you deal with it is what you do. So you don't fall backwards. You still keep moving forward. You acknowledge it, and then it's like, okay, been down that road before, time to put behind me. You deal with it, then you just put behind you, and you just move on. So, Just be aware of the traps that a narcissist will do. Because they stop at nothing and they won't stop at anything. Because they don't want you to see happy. And you deserve to be happy. But you gotta do what you got to do to save yourself, to save your sanity. You know, if you have to move on the other side of the world, or if you have to move on the other side of the country or state, whatever, do what you have to do that you feel is right. You do things on your own terms, not theirs, not the narcissist terms. And each and every one of us is very capable of breaking free of the power and control that the narcissists have once had over us. And each and every one of you can do it. You have my support and my encouragement, just know that. So right now, I'll wrap up this video for now. And I wish all of you love and peace and joy. And again, thank you for watching. And thank you for subscribing. I love you all. Peace and bye for now.